Good morning, Mount Pleasant and Henry County. This is Mount Pleasant Live. I'm your host, Mike Heaton, here as always with Nick Steffens and our special guest today, fresh off a triathlon.
Fresh off.
Holly Frary. Welcome, Holly, to the studio.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I think I'm more nervous to be here than I was for the race.
Seriously?
I don't know why. I think cameras and stuff in your face. And I don't know.
I love it, though. You know, just we're going to go into your experience here in a little bit. We got some other, logistics to cover and everything, but we brought Holly on today because her story is incredible, and it's inspiring for anybody that just wants to do self-improvement, wants to set a goal, wants to make change in their life, whatever it may be, just wants to run a race and say they did it. And just watching Holly's journey from 6 months ago, I think, when you first told us about it,
About 14 weeks.
14 weeks, not even that long.
For 14
yeah,
weeks.
to all the Facebook posts this weekend, just so exciting. I wasn't even part of it. I was like just watching it from a distance. So we're going to hear all about it. Incredible experience of training and then competing in a triathlon from Holly. But before we do that, we're going to talk about something even more exciting.
Okay.
Actually, it's not. It's the weather. It's not even close to more exciting.
This week, man.
But it's been nice. It's been hot.
Are we going to get any kind of rain?
I know.
No.
I had a dream we had rain, though.
You dreamt we had rain.
That's how bad we need it. It infiltrated my dreams.
There was a delay, I think, in a baseball game last night in Waco, maybe, I can't remember, and you could see like the sun and blue skies, but then this one little thunderhead cloud, and that was it. But they had the delay because there was lighting in it, and it like put down like a little bit of rain on a small spot in northern Henry County or something. It was nothing.
We thought there was a threat. We were at baseball games here over at Maple Leaf last night, and towards the end of the second game, pretty ominous.
You're like, we have a shot.
And I was like, well, what a unopportune time.
Yeah.
In the middle, but I would have taken anything at that point. But then I think I felt 2 drops.
Yeah.
I might have made those up.
Yeah.
Well, according to my phone, there's a 30% chance of thunderstorms starting at 9 a.m.
Today.
But that's also Apple weather, and they just throw things.
You never know.
Yeah.
I do AccuWeather. I always find they give you a little more detail than like weather.com, but it's also, you never know. It's just we have to pay for it and crap, and it's just It's the weather.
But
so anyway, what's the weather today? You didn't give it to me here.
It's mostly sunny now, but it's going to be 89.
So like yesterday.
Yeah. And that's supposed to be 93 on Saturday.
It got hot yesterday. Like legit hot. It felt like it was really summer.
It was 100 degrees when I got into my car after work.
Seriously.
It was not in my car. It was 100 degrees.
In your car. I was going to say like the high was 90 something or low 90s.
Yeah.
We had it here too. Like this, we're in Traction Steam here. We're like tucked in, surrounded by other buildings and apartments and stuff. So whatever it is outside, it slowly warms up, and then it slowly cools down. So we came in this morning, and it was hot and humid, and
I was climbing on tables trying to open the vent.
because it's just like really warm, and I'm sweating right now. But you know how you like, I just took a shower, got ready in the morning, so I just ran over here real quick. So I'm already damp, and so now I got. So if you see like beads of sweat, I swear I'm not sweating that much. Just
it's high definition, so
yeah, exactly. So you can see all the pores, fun stuff. Yeah. You're doing way better than we are, Holly. Trust me.
For a person who doesn't wear a stitch of makeup, oh gosh, camera, be kind.
Just keep on switching to me, and everybody be like, "It's all good."
Right.
It'd be like if Heaton's that bad, everyone else looks good around him. I like it. That said, we also have some really fun events this week. You all know about it. We've talked about it for about 2 weeks now. With Kelly Carr coming in, we have the Stride into Summer family walk, which is, I'm so excited about that. I'm going to take the kids out, I hope. And it is on, they're teenagers, trying to get teenagers to do anything at this point. So it's interesting. But it's really good for younger families. It's a Stride into Summer family walk sponsored by Henry County Public Health. It's 1 to 4 p.m. On Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. It's right here.
It's not on Saturday.
No, yeah, June 4th. Is that Sunday or Saturday? I get my dates mixed up.
That's Sunday. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's people that have watched the show and then shown up at events other places and like they say he said it was today. And
Well, the reason I was asking because there's so much going on Saturday on June 3rd. I think I got invited to like 4 or 5 different events,
Right.
And then there were a couple of other things that we had tentatively put on the calendar, and it all just
right.
came on one day, and then you have to pick and choose.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
do. So I'm glad that's on Sunday.
Yeah, although I think most of the senior graduation parties are done. We both have teenagers. You know
Yeah.
how it is, and yours are just getting into that zone of people that are going to
Last
be
day of school today. Then I'm going to have a middle schooler because Charlie will be in 6th grade, and then Sam's going to be a freshman.
Yeah, high schooler. You're there.
How?
Welcome.
I blinked. I blinked.
You're about to start a brand new journey, and
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah,
To put it
but
mildly.
every step of the way has just been so much fun.
Hadn't it? Yeah.
interesting to-
Yeah.
Because when I worked at the rec center,
They were
Sam was like a
babies.
5th grader.
They were babies.
But I don't
Nick.
feel like I worked there for like 4 years ago.
Yeah, do you remember? So when you worked at the coffee shop,
Yeah.
they
Oh, yeah,
were
they're-
like, well, that was 2015. So we're going 8 years ago. Sam was 6 and
I
Charlie
would say
was
Charlie.
3.
I don't think Charlie
Wow.
was like
Yeah,
wasn't as talkative
Yeah.
as he was. I mean,
he was a little more shy.
and
yeah,
I mean, he was a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
but they were 6 and 3.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a little bit
Mm-hmm.
for you.
I'm still trying to figure out this process, the fact that in like 3 hours, I will have a senior.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Like, that's
I don't
that,
know.
what? Like, that's.
We're ready. We're ready for the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, you just, when things like this smack you in your face and you have a realization of, oh, I only have so many summers left. You're
Yeah.
like, ooh.
You got to enjoy it.
What are we doing?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, the first thing you can do is on Sunday, if you want, you can go to this Stride into Summer
Yeah.
family walk if you want. But we've already talked a lot about it for our listeners, but it's a bunch of booths spread out throughout East Lake Park, all around health and wellness. The library is going to be there. The ambulance services will be talking about, I think, skincare in terms of keeping the sun away from your skin a little bit, avoiding skin cancer, things like that. It's really, really fun. There's fingerprinting. They'll send you home with an ID kit. It's just going to be a fun thing. It's just like the Halloween walk they've been doing for quite a few years. It's going to be rescheduled for June 11th if there's a rain out, but I don't think there's
Nick?
really much. Is there rain scheduled for Sunday?
It's going to be 92 and mostly sunny.
It'll be a little warm, so definitely wear your sunscreen, maybe a hat, and some
Hydrate,
sunglasses.
bring lots of-
Hydrate.
Yep, bring
It's going to be really, really fun. So that's 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. out East Lake Park. Enjoy that. That's the only event I have on this one. I do have one more event to share about, though,
Yes.
if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So I get the honor of being part of a really cool organization called the New Bohemian Innovation Collaborative up in Cedar Rapids. They're a partner with Traction Steam here in Mount Pleasant, but they focus on entrepreneurship, helping small businesses grow. We've talked a little bit about it on the show before, but it's really about, you have a business, what's new in the market? How can you be innovative? How can you grow your business, right? Or if you have an idea, Holly and I talk a lot about cool business ideas.
All
She's
the
always
time.
thinking about really cool business
do
ideas.
we
Same
need?
thing with
What are we
Nick.
missing?
Yeah, what kind of stuff do we want to have here in Mount Pleasant? And this is like 300 Hollies, 400 Hollies, all in one space from across
gosh.
Iowa. I know. Tell me about it. But these are people like any of our small business owners, like your. We've had the Davises on from Trace Tacos Moss. We've had the Sorensens on from the Grange. I think about the long history of entrepreneurs we have with Brown Shoe Fit here in town, and all these incredible business owners. Lomont Molding and the history of innovators we've had with that company, and it's a bunch of people like that care deeply about their community. They want to build businesses, be able to pay people, be able to make a living while growing your community. And they're all coming together for 2 days next week in Iowa City from all across the state to talk about it, to talk about trends in business, talk about innovation, technology, how they can build up our communities. And it's super, super fun. And it's really open to anyone. Even if you have an idea in your garage, you're trying to figure out how to maybe make some money off it, or you have a side hustle where you're, there's a lot of people that like bake cookies and sell them out of their garage around here. And there's like cupcakes and tacos and, food, but there's also woodworkers. Oh my gosh, there's so many woodworkers in Henry County. It's super cool. I really encourage people to check it out. It's going to be a fun event. It's called EntreFest, ENTRE Fest, FEST.com. You can go to EntreFest and EntreFest.com, and you can register to go. Okay. We do have, I think it's a discounted rate right now to be able to go for 2 days compared to what it would be if you register next week, when it's the week of, right? So I think it's $199 right now. You can still do it 2 days of stuff, all kinds of goodie bags, swag bags. You get like a meal ticket to go and eat food and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the stuff is covered in terms of cost. But
Did you say it's in Cedar Rapids?
Iowa City.
Oh, it's in
Iowa City, right downtown on the Ped Mall. Like you just bounce around from venue to venue, have cool food. You have these little cards like the downtown food cards. So you can go to whatever restaurant or place you want downtown and swipe the card. And And then there's all kinds of, you can go shopping while you're there too, because that's what people do in the Ped Mall in the summertime, right? But check it out, entrefest.com, entrefest.com. Definitely, it's worth your time. It's a super fun event.
I want to put a little asterisk. You said it's for people that make things in their garage. I'm assuming there's a legal asterisk next to that.
That people that, in what way?
Like, there's probably people that make things in their garage that they want to make money off of, but they might, the legality of it.
Yeah, so be careful. You can still go. No one's going to check what you're making.
Just want to put that out there. Don't go up to Iowa City and expect that you're going to be making money off of something that's
not legal per se. Yeah, good point. I think that's actually part of it too. Aside from the dubious products that some people make in their garages, a lot of people are really afraid to start an LLC, start a sole proprietorship, because you don't understand the taxes, the legality. It's actually really simple if you have the right coach and the right people to help you show you how to do it. You've been through it.
I've been through that,
right?
And I will tell you that's something that I think you just don't ever think about the first time, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into it, and thank God for me, I had a great attorney, Jim Becker. I went over and I said, this is what I'm going to do. And he sat down with me and he said, all right, well, these are your options. And he explained each one of them to me, and this is what you need to do, and just walked me step by step through the process. So 100% absolutely correct. Have somebody that or trust or has experience and has been through it, because it's a lot.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But if you have the right people surrounding you, you can make it work. And as we all know, Entrefest helps you do that. Traction Steam here in town helps you do that. The Chamber helps you surround you with the resources you need as well. Even Main Street Mount Pleasant does as well. So we have the resources here in Mount Pleasant. But if you can go next week, we'd love to have you there. Okay. So.
I would think that people had when people say, "Oh, my lawyer," I thought when I was little, I thought every single person had their own
lawyer,
like companion lawyer.
Yeah.
Same with accountants. I thought everyone just had their own dedicated accountant, and that accountant just.
You don't have your own accountant?
No.
I don't either. So what I love that, Holly, that a lot of people don't know is Holly used to run a business here in Mount Pleasant.
I did.
And you used to work there.
Ironically, I was like, when I was selecting a coffee cup today, I said, well, this one feels appropriate. And the tie with
I still have my shirt. I could have
worn it.
There's a hole in the armpit, but I still have it.
That's all right. I think I have.
That hadn't stopped you in the past from wearing those.
Extras laying around somewhere.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what was it? It was a coffee shop right here in town?
It was a coffee shop and a little wine bistro. So we had a liquor license just to sell beer and wine, and then, but mostly coffee, espresso drinks, limited, breakfast and lunch menu. And it really was just a community place to congregate.
Yeah.
It was, just a special place where people could just come and, share a cup of coffee or have some lunch or catch up, or, we would see the same people every single day because they were like, oh, we love coming in here. It's just the atmosphere and the environment and the vibe. And it was cool. I miss it. Awesome. You miss it?
I do, because I also miss being during the summer when I'd get off my shift and close. And I'd head to a baseball game, but I'd make one of the Cubans.
Yes.
And then whatever pasta salad was about to get thrown away, I'd dump that on there.
Yep.
And I'd always make just enough in tips
to cover
with
your 50% discount.
With my discount.
Hey, wait, what? You got a 50%?
Yeah. And so I'd always make enough in tips to cover a meal and a drink, and I would head out to watch the baseball team.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that was one thing when, I first started this business, everyone said, oh, well, employee retention is going to be your most difficult, just turnover.
Sure.
And man, I don't know, I must have done something right because I didn't have any. You got a free coffee on your shift, everything was 50%, no matter if you were working or not.
Right.
I don't know, I just think, I treated them well and they enjoyed. I think. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth.
We all did. I don't think there was a single person that, when I worked there for a little over a year.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was no turnover when I was there.
That's awesome. That's rare.
Yeah, I lost a couple gals because, college girls, and they moved.
Yeah, but it was never
it wasn't
a
bad partying of any sort of way. It was great.
So I want to thank you for that, by the way, because there was one time when they came into the co-work space here, and we had just completely overflooded the coffee.
Oh,
what do you call it? The craft. What's that word for it? those big containers that hold a lot of coffee, that you push the button on them. I guess a carafe. I don't know.
Well, it comes into a craft.
Yeah, or air pot. They call them air pot.
Brewed into the air pot.
Yeah. And it brews in. And so it overflowed in the brewer. And we were like, why does this keep happening? Because it's happened like twice now. We had to clean it all up. And then it comes in. It's like, actually, no, if you dampen the water first and you do all these, he just gave us all these little pro tips from working in a coffee shop for so long. It's never happened again.
Never happened again.
Well, because it happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, at the coffee shop. Yeah, exactly.
A little touchy.
That's awesome. Well, one thing I like to say, especially as we work with small businesses and startups here in Mount Pleasant with entrepreneurs, is that I always see entrepreneurs as artists. They're a form of artists. They have their canvas as a business. And often after 3 or 4 years, they're ready to move on to something different, and they change or grow. Sometimes the idea doesn't work. Sometimes it's successful and it keeps working and they sell. But to me, it's the act of entrepreneurship that makes a difference.
And just the spirit, entrepreneurial spirit. I met somebody years ago and he said, we have a really great business here. He said, but for whatever reason, if it doesn't work out, he said, I see you doing something else. You look like you could be a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yep.
And at the time I thought, and now as I think about it, I just think, I think I have the makings of, it's internal. I don't know if I would ever do anything again. I never say never. But I'm definitely, as you know, always thinking, always considering, always wondering what's next.
Well, even in your role now, working with all these businesses too. I mean, for those that don't know, Holly, what's your official title with the Southeast Iowa Union?
I'm the regional sales manager.
Right.
So myself and Julie Scott, she's a co-regional sales manager in the Washington office. And so we cover Henry, Jefferson, Washington counties. We have another gal, Leanne Nolte. She's the sales rep in Fairfield. And so we are responsible for all of the advertising for the Southeast Iowa Union.
So you're working with all these entrepreneurs and business owners and people who've built their own companies from scratch or that are maintaining companies that someone built a long time ago.
And so I understand from a firsthand perspective how important marketing is and diversifying that, but also really trying to get them the best bang for their buck.
Yeah.
Because as a small business, funds are limited. And as we know, marketing is usually the last, if I have a few pennies, okay, we'll see what I can do.
Right. So sadly, because that's how you get customers too, right? It's one of the big ways.
But that's the fun part about my role here is then I can really kind of strategize with them and say, okay, I think this is the direction that you want to go.
So it's starting a business takes a risk. It's money, it's time, it's energy. You're putting your name on something, especially in a small town.
Yep.
Everybody knows what you're doing, and if you succeed or fail, they're going to hold that to you.
And everybody has an opinion.
Everybody has
an
opinion.
You're doing it, or how you're not doing it, or how you should be doing it.
But the bravery and courage it takes to do that is really incredible. And we have so many entrepreneurs in Mount Pleasant, Henry County, and the surrounding area that have that kind of bravery.
Yep.
And we saw that firsthand with your company, and we also saw it firsthand these last 14 weeks as you did a triathlon. Oh my gosh, I just did a transition. That wasn't bad, was it?
No.
I did a good transition. How'd I do there?
That was natural. I felt it. I knew where you were going, and I said, keep.
You like that? Just go with it.
Running,
yeah, I do really. Running. Yeah, oh, nicely done there. I like that too. Or swimming or biking.
Oh, it was really more during the run.
Oh, was it?
One foot in front of the other.
Well, I want to hear all about that when we come back from commercial.
All right.
Protection is important, especially when you're talking about your dreams, which is why we're going to keep you covered with plans that can save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. That's protection.
Bring the kids and share the memories from steam engines, antique cars and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Maybe your memories are of great food from the North Village to the Log Village, or going to one of the amazing concerts. This is the place where memories are made. Make plans now to enjoy the history of the past at the 2023 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 31st through September 4th in Mount Pleasant. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
Unbelievable amount of devastation. I've never seen anything like it.
We had a beautiful barn that was gone in 20 minutes.
Farm Bureau stepped up right away and said, hey, we got you and we'll be there for you.
We were taken care of. Now we could get on to repairing and rebuilding.
I tell everybody about Farm Bureau.
We're fortunate to say we have good coverage with good people doing it.
Contact Farm Bureau agents Tony Starr and Mike Welcher in Mount Pleasant today.
Welcome back to Mount Pleasant Live. We are here with Holly Frary. We're talking about taking risks, setting goals, just reprioritizing things in life sometimes, and then from whether or not that's building a business, which you've done, whether or not it's getting sales for your work, or personally. Mm-hmm. You just completed an incredible journey over the last 14 weeks when you finished, you trained for and finished a triathlon. Can you give us a little bit of an overview first? And I want to get into the physical and mental side of it on the back end, but what did you do? Give us, what's a triathlon for those that have never done one before? Yeah.
Okay. So, well, a triathlon, for those who don't know, is a series of 3 events. You always start with a swim, and then you immediately move into.
Wait, you're not like going to your hotel, taking a nap, or overnight, next day, come back.
You're like 2 minutes of transition time. So you swim, you run out of the water, you get to your transition spot, which is pre-set up, by yourself, the way that you want it. That has your bike, and then your cycling shoes and your running shoes.
You dry off? Are you soaking wet?
Well, my swim was at Clear Lake, and so it was in the lake. It was a 500-meter swim.
Whoa. Wow.
And so the water, I believe, on Saturday morning was a balmy 66 degrees. But wetsuit was allowed. So I had a wetsuit on, and it was actually really crisp and cool Saturday morning. And so the water actually felt kind of warm.
I bet especially if you're warmed up a little bit, you're exercising.
It felt better than the air anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a 500-meter swim, and then you run out of the water, you run to your transition spot, you have to peel off your wetsuit, which is a challenge in itself, and then you dry off a little bit, get on your cycling shoes, your helmet, and then you run your bike in your cycling shoes, which has, these metal clips on the bottom.
Right.
Super uncomfortable. You run to the mount area, you get on your bike, and you go.
So before you get into the bike, just for distance wise, those who have been to the track out at Maple Leaf, right? That's 400 yards all the way around.
Right.
Meters and yards are relatively similar, but you're going 500 meters
swim.
So that's like going all the way around the track swimming and then some before you get out of the water.
Right. Yeah. So
I would be 200 in and I'd be drowning, I think. Come rescue me.
In a lake that...
it's open water.
It was open water. So in a lake with, I don't know how many women there were, but it was all 40 plus women in the sprint category. So I was probably in the water with, 50 to 70 other women.
Wow.
Who are all rushing to get in together. And so, you're getting kicked, you're getting hit, you're getting water in your mouth, you can't see.
Sounds like so much fun.
Right? It's a little daunting.
Yeah. They have lifeguards, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's
some safety.
Kayaks,
okay,
and, jet skis or whatever
sure.
ready in case you were like, SOS, I'm out.
Yeah.
So you do that, and then you run out, and you get to your bike, and then you have to run to the mount area, then you bike, and this was 12.5 mile course, which was great, around the lake and, all the way back around, and you come in, you get off on the dismount, and then you have to run your bike back to the transition area, take off your cycling shoes, throw in your, running shoes, hat if you want it, whatever, take a drink, get some hydration,
sure.
fuel or whatever, and then go. And this was a 3.1 mile run.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I have no word. I think of any of those individually, and I ran track in high school, and even when I was at my peak, that would have been way overwhelming.
Yeah. I honestly, I'll tell you, I didn't really have a whole lot of doubts in my mind because I've been training for so long. I started training about 14 weeks out, and then I got COVID. Right in the middle, right at the height of my training. And then I lost 2 straight weeks. 2 full weeks of training because I was sick, and then I would try to work out, and my body just couldn't do it. But I didn't give up. I just did as much as I could every day. I tried to do something until finally I worked back up to where I was at. But we pulled into Clear Lake Friday, and we went down and got checked in, got all of my stuff registered, and we walked down to the water, and they had the buoys set up for the race already. And that's when I thought, girl,
what did I get myself into?
what have you done?
Yeah.
And I don't think I showed it, but I know Anthony and I looked at each other, and I was like, does that look real far to you?
Wait, so had you done open water swimming at that point?
Yeah, at Jim and McCormick's pond, Pansy Hill.
At Pansy Hill? That's a pond, yeah.
But it's open water.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, it was so cold out there.
Oh yeah, because you're doing like March on, so it's
So
yeah.
I swam out there probably 4 or 5 times, but it's completely different to swim in the pond versus the lake that did have some waves, there was some current,
and
all these
people
other
hitting you, and yeah.
It's a totally different. So that was my first dose of, okay, you knew this was going to be hard, but this could be really hard.
That's amazing though.
And so that was really the only thing. And then we drove the bike route, so I could kind of see that. And then we drove the run. So I grew up 20 minutes from Clear Lake. I'm from Forest City originally, and so that's kind of the reason I chose this race, was because it was close to my family. My parents and some family members could come. I was familiar with the lay of the land, and I wanted an open water swim. There's a lot of triathlons that I researched, but they were all in the pool, and I thought, if I'm going to do this, I want the true experience of doing an open water swim.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. So Saturday morning, transition opens at 5:30 in the morning. And you have about an hour and a half. It closes at 7 to set up your bike and get it set up the way that you want. And we got there early, and I walked out on the dock by the boat ramp, is where we would be exiting the swim. And I looked at it from a completely different perspective. And I thought, that's not, I can do that.
Yes.
Because from the shore, it looked daunting.
Yeah.
But from the back of the boat ramp, it was a more realistic kind of view of what that swim would be.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, you've got this.
Yeah.
This is fine. And I actually ended up having my fastest swim time from training through the race was on race day.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was like a 2:46 meters. And before that, my fastest was like a 2:56 or something.
So tell me about that a little bit. So obviously there's a lot of barriers mentally, physically, that you have to sort of get through, or checkpoints, if you will, along your 14 weeks and a day of. Tell us a little bit about let's start with the you've talked a little about the physical. I feel like you've trained, you did all that, but the mental side of it, what are some of the things that you had to set in place to ensure that you stuck with it?
Yeah. Well, the whole reason I did this was last year, I was just looking for kind of a new challenge, a new stretch goal. And I wanted to start working out regularly again. I bike a lot, but I just really wanted to start doing something every single day, and getting older, and it's just harder to do a lot of things.
Sure.
And, kids are busy, and you can find every excuse in the book. And so I am not the type of person who can just say, oh yeah, I'm just going to start working out again. Like, I have to have a goal. I have to set something, in front of me. And so I said, you know what? I think I'm going to do a triathlon, and I'm going to do it before I turn 50.
Nice.
Well, that's in December.
Oh wow, you didn't have much time, did you? Yeah.
I didn't have a whole lot of time. And I was going to do it last year, and then life got busy, and then I got sick, and I just couldn't.
Right.
And, Facebook, Instagram, social media is great. The algorithm, about 14 weeks before the race, a sponsored ad for Try Clear Lake popped up on all of my social media.
Nice.
And I thought, okay, I'm a believer in some signs. I look for signs. And I looked at Anthony and I said, Try Clear Lake is coming up in about 14 weeks. And I said, remember when I said I was going to do that before I turned 50? And he looked at me. He said, yeah. I said, okay. A few minutes later, I looked back over him and I said, okay, I'm registered. And that's what that's what I needed to do.
Yeah, you had to take that step.
I had to. I paid for it.
Yeah.
And man, this mama pinches pennies. So I paid for it. So I was going to do it. I told my closest friends and family. So then I had to do it. Yep. No, like you don't put that out there and then go, oh, no.
Right.
Whatever, come up with an excuse. And so then I researched training plans, kind of for a sprint triathlon that was going to be about 12 to 14 weeks in length. And I combined them and made my own hybrid. And I started on February, and I journaled everything. Yeah. And so I kept a journal, and my first day of training was February 19th. And I journaled my nutrition plan, everything I trained every day up into the race. So I could look back and compare kind of starting times to end times to see.
Yeah.
And there was some definite transformation within there.
The other piece I want to chat about when we come back from commercial is you talk a lot about family support and friends support, right? And, we started this whole conversation around business and entrepreneurship and the importance of family and friends and community support for that as well. And I feel like I'm going to try to tie it up with a bow on the back end on both. Let's talk through what it took the sacrifices and support you got from your own family and friends to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
And maybe even talk a little bit about SIP and what you went through with that with family and friends supporting you through that process too.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome. So we'll come back from the
commercial
here show. Yeah, very good. It's all good. All good. We'll see you right after the commercial.
At 5 Star Community Credit Union, we want to help you lead a better life. We offer competitive rates and convenient appointment times for all kinds of loans: auto, recreational vehicles, home equity line of credit, holiday, and personal loans. We make it easy to build your credit and enjoy the good things in life.
We invite you to join 5 Star Community Credit Union. We are community-minded and member-focused. Come visit our locations in West Burlington and Mount Pleasant or online at 5starcu.org. Federally insured through the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
At Brown Shoe Fit, we pride ourselves on traditional sit and fit service that's been serving the Mount Pleasant area since 1952. At Brown's, we have shoes for the whole family. From kids to adults, we carry the finest footwear for every occasion. Whether you're looking for something for work, casual wear, or exercise, we've got you covered. And don't forget about our selection of safety toe footwear for both men and women. Come visit us 6 days a week and experience the best in traditional sit and fit service. Brown Shoe Fit, where quality and tradition meet.
Welcome back to Mount Pleasant Live. We're here with Holly Frary. I want to go to Nick real quick.
Oh, what?
Hey, Nick, how you doing over there?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, we're just chatting
about myself now.
Yeah, sorry. Well,
considering
me
that
too.
I went on a 3-mile bike ride the other day, and I think it was Saturday, and almost blacked out. So
you okay?
That puts it in perspective.
But you just did all this moving too, though.
That's true. But it was more. We were like 3 miles in, and there was like this big hill that I used to grow up next to. So I was like, I'm gonna go down this for old time's sake. And I got to the top, and things just started to get black around my view.
It's like,
okay. And then there was like a high school grad party happening right there, and it's like, if I go down now, that's gonna be embarrassing.
That'd be a story.
People.
That'd be a good story, actually. I mean, sad story.
That's what a normal person goes through.
Yeah.
I probably know which hill you're referencing, because there are some hills around town that
you feel them as you're going up them. Yeah, you feel the burn a little bit.
Challenge yourself. You're
like, it is called.
You got nothing on me.
People laugh when they see it's Mount Pleasant, but what they don't realize, there is some pretty big hills leading up to Mount Pleasant, especially from the south and from the west.
Yeah.
So we got some good rolling stuff around here. We're sort of at the beginning of if you go south of here, it's big hills for Ragbri folks, and they know. So I brought it to you, Nick, for that reason. We, as listeners, as we listen to your story, you start thinking to yourself, okay, I can't do a triathlon. I really want to do a triathlon, but I can't do it. But I can do something smaller to start,
Baby
right?
Steps.
And take those steps, right?
Baby steps.
Yeah, and you did a sprint, not the full Olympic.
No.
And are you thinking about doing the full Olympic? Okay. I love it.
Maybe another sprint if I can get this run under control.
Yeah, fair enough.
Olympic yet.
But to do any of that, you do need support from friends and family. To even if it's a small step, even if it's just go for a walk every day for 2 weeks straight or something like that as your goal, it's good to have support. People saying, yeah, you go and do your walk or walking with you. Tell us a little bit about, as you went through this process, the support you got from family and friends to make it possible.
Yeah. Well, it's I knew it was going to be a time commitment as far as the training. I didn't realize how much. And I think that really depends on the individual and how much you want to put into it.
Yeah.
But I'm a maximizer. Like, why make it good when it can be great?
Right. Yep.
So I'm like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And if I'm gonna take the time away from my kids and away from my family, and then I'm really gonna do it. And it was great. So Anthony started. He didn't train with me. We biked a lot together because we bike a lot together anyway. But so he started doing his own kind of training program outside of it. Not training for a triathlon or anything, but just for wellness and personal growth or whatever.
Yeah.
But the boys were just phenomenal. Because it's hard when mom's usually always around. I'm like, where's mom? She's running, or she's on the bike, or she's out at Pansy Hill, or she's swimming, because it would take an hour and a half to 2 hours some days of, just dedicated time for doing that. But Charlie, would go on bike rides, with me. He would, if I came home from work, he'd say, Mom, can we go for a bike ride? And then he would go, well, are you going to go fast? or can we go slow? And if I say, well, it's a fast day, then he'd go, okay. And, he would stay behind me.
Yep.
He wouldn't be able to keep up yet. He's getting there.
You love that you can still take your kids though. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Burn them on the bike. Yeah.
And Sam, he's my oldest. And so, he was in track season.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So it was great. So we could run together, and he would slow down considerably for me, because his pace is, about double what mine is.
Sure.
But, it was just great. And they, I think just to see the pride on their faces, like, oh my gosh, my mom is going to be 50 years old, which they remind me of all of it. And she's doing this, and for them to see on that day, like, holy cow. Like, because there were so many, there was 527 total competitors. So about half for the sprint, then half for the Olympic.
The Olympic level, yeah.
But of all kinds, like people like me who it was their first triathlon, up to like triathletes, like actual professional triathletes who are just, they're ripped and they're fast and they're just, because
that's a legit try. They attracts people. Yeah.
And it's a sanctioned race.
Yeah.
So it draws really good talent. And so to be surrounded by that, and just, the support of the other triathletes, the nicest group of people I have ever met in my whole life. Like, everyone was just so welcoming and accommodating. And if they found out it was your first race, they were so excited.
That's so cool.
Even like, just an example of that, I was 1 mile away from the finish line. 1 mile, and I was like, oh, I was whooped. At that point, I was just whooped. And this girl, her name's Taylor, and I had met her right before we were getting ready to get into the water, and we made quick introductions. She found out it was my first triathlon, and she came running up behind me, and she said, let's go. We're going to finish this together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, talk about right place, right time.
Yeah.
Like, the universe just takes care of you. And we ran the last mile together, and that's what I needed in that moment, was her just to be like, come on, we're going to do this. Because I think if I would have been left to that last mile by myself, I would have gutted it out still.
Sure.
But it would have probably been even more difficult. But coming into that last mile was also where all of my family and all of my friends, and cowbells and signs and like everybody yelling your name. And she's like, everybody here knows you.
That is awesome. Well, yeah, you did that on purpose, right? So close to home, the Forest City.
The benefit of only being 20 minutes
from
my hometown.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
yeah.
The people that showed up, my sister and her wife came from Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, just, Laura Rawson, my best friend in the whole world, came with Elodie. And for Elodie to see that, she's going to be in 7th grade.
Right.
But, for her to see, all kinds of really just women and men just out there living their dream is pretty cool for anyone to see.
I love that. Yeah. That's brilliant. And I remember when we were talking about SIP and you starting SIP here too, you had a lot of friends and family and support to get that off the ground and grow as well. Do you see similarities between this journey and starting your own business as well?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. It always starts with a little seed that nobody knows about.
Right.
Just something that's, in the back of my mind, and then it moves to the front of my mind, and then I think about it, and then I realistically think about it, and then I start making a plan, and then after the plan starts coming together, then I'm like, okay, now, SIP was born, the idea of it really came to light when the coffee shop was still Tazabella.
Right.
And I was working at Iowa Wesleyan. And I was having lunch with, myself, Holly Jones, Erin Mafra, who she's from Burlington, and then Kat Neiman. I don't know if you remember.
Sure,
Kat.
yeah.
Kat. And we were talking, and I had just, at that moment, divulged, I've had this idea, and we talked about it at lunch, and it just stayed between us, and then it just kind of went from there. And so the same thing kind of with the triathlon is, I had it in the back of my mind, and I started researching, and then I finally told Anthony about it because, to some people it probably sounds crazy. Like, what? Why would you want to, why would you even want to do that? And he didn't think it was crazy. He was like, heck yeah, that's pretty BA, go for it. And most people I told were, super supportive, those closest to me. The other, people were like, why? What? You know what? I don't, because I think I can. I want to know that I can. And man, do I just relish a good challenge.
Yeah.
I just love a good challenge. I love being able to set a goal and seeing markable improvement and achievement throughout, and then accomplishing that goal. It's already got me thinking,
what's next?
What's next?
Oh, I love it.
What's next?
I look at that compared to businesses, right? And SIP and what you did. And I think of it as a customer, I want to have that cowbell and cheer you on. You know what I mean? And as you're going that last mile, and we have that opportunity here in Mount Pleasant every weekend, every night. Like tonight's Thursday, right? All of our restaurants are open downtown.
Right.
In downtown alone, I can name 3 or 4 that have started in the last 2 years, 2 or 3 years that got off the ground. We can be those cowbells. We can go out and cheer them on because it's not easy that last mile as they get their feet wet and get started and then eventually get to the point where, okay, now they're going and it's really tough to keep going.
And that's when they need us the most.
Exactly. And so it may not be a triathlon, but it's someone's dream and it's someone's goal. Go out and support them. Go out and support your local restaurants, your local businesses. Yeah. And then on the other hand, anyone that's doing something like you're doing and growing and figuring out a way to have a goal. When you brought it up to me the first time, like, oh man, people start thinking about themselves a little bit like, oh, I couldn't do that. I'm way out of shape, but it's not about me. It's about you and being supportive of you. And you doing this adds to Mount Pleasant. It adds to our town. It inspires young girls to do the same thing, like your, Laura's daughter, right? And that's really important. Whether or not it's a triathlon or it's a business or whatever it is, we need to be with those cowbells cheering everybody on. And then maybe we'll get out and go for a walk too, or we'll start our own business too because we'll be inspired. So, Holly, I'm not trying to make you feel embarrassed or anything. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for sharing your story. It's inspiring. No matter what we all decide to do with our goals, it really is. And you're a great example of that.
Yeah. So I saw this, I was posting some pictures and some video on Facebook, and I saw this quote by, it's Amelia Earhart. And it said something like, the hardest decision is the decision to act. The rest is just tenacity.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
That great.
Just hit the nail on the head right there. I think that just describes me in like a nutshell. Like, all right, I've decided, I've thought about it. It's not an impulsive decision. Like, I thought about it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Anna Marie said, you did the darn thing.
Yep.
And I was like, you're right. I did the darn thing. So all you got to do is try.
All you
gotta do is try.
And ironic triathlon. Sorry, I can't. Dad jokes are in my head.
Right.
Show us what you got though as a result. So what is this?
A little higher.
little higher. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Oh, it's a finisher medal.
A finisher medal.
Yeah, Sam told me after I finished, she said, Mom, you got to bite the medal.
Did you do it? Did you like?
Oh, yeah. I was like, and I think I kissed it. But
that is awesome.
yeah, it's really flipping cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, thank you for that. Now, you're going to lose at something.
Don't act too confident.
I have not.
You know how competitive I am.
I know.
Right?
I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this all day.
Okay.
I've been in training for 2 months now on the celebrity guessing game.
Have you been cheating?
No.
Look ahead?
I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't do that. I promise. I really don't. I also am horrible at it, but I figured out I've gotten a couple like direct on hits lately, so my confidence is going up.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yeah.
Sorry,
Before we go there,
I'm so embarrassed that
what is today's national holiday?
It is National Yo-Yo Day.
Yo-Yo Day.
I was never good at yo-yos.
I wasn't either.
I could never figure them out. They're
I would do
black
like
magic as
two
far
really
as
strong.
Yeah.
And then after that, it would just.
I can't even do that. I think they're black magic. I honestly don't know how they work.
I can walk the dog. I'll bring it in sometime. I can do like the.
No offense, you strike me as a guy that knows yo-yo tricks.
I thank you. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah,
juggle too.
I can juggle, not very well. Like if I really take some time and practice for a bit.
I see it. I
could not. But you know who's really good at union cycling?
Lauren.
Is Lauren.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. There's a.
It was a unicycle craze when I was like a sophomore, junior in high school.
Yeah.
I never understood it.
It's one of those things. People get a goal and they start practicing and it becomes a thing, right?
And then you find out. I mean, that's the beauty of trying anything.
Yeah.
Like you quickly find out. Oh, I really like this, or this is not for me.
Right. Yes.
And then you move on to the next thing.
Find something else to do. Yeah. Exactly. I'm trying to figure that out with the guitar. My new thing is learning how to play it. I've had a guitar like 5 times, and I really want to learn how to play it. Okay.
You just need to hang out with Trey and Anthony.
Yes, and Cole Smith too is into that. Like there's a group of people that just want to hang out and just jam a little bit, and we'll get there. Okay. We'll get there over time. All right, let's do our celebrity game. You've had a lot of wins here, Holly. I'm really hoping you don't win today. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been training hard.
All right. So the rules are: you're going to guess a celebrity whose birthday is today.
Okay.
You have to guess their age. If you're within 3 years, you get a point. If you get it right on, you get 2 points. And then there's a bonus round for the last celebrity. Our first celebrity is Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Yes, Tom Holland.
Unfortunately, it's probably he's just always going to be Spider-Man.
Okay.
We should know this one. Like, it shouldn't
Well,
be.
I know he's Spider-Man. He dates Zendaya, and she's kind of young.
Yeah. They've both been in
which means
a
nothing.
lot of movies in the last 10 years.
Well, Zendaya was one of my first celebrity crushes, so
Zendaya was?
Yeah, so that'll put it into perspective.
Yeah.
But the boys really enjoyed her. Casey Undercover was like this Disney
It
show.
was Shake It Up when I was younger.
Ah, interesting.
So that's kind of her start, and they loved
When did Holland have his first Spider-Man break? Like, what was that when Spider-Man?
That was Civil War, so that was 2007, 16, 17?
All right,
So-
I'm shooting.
What do you got?
I'm going 27.
I think he's 29.
He's 27. So
see,
2 to 1, 2 to 1. You still got a point.
Some things you're just bad at and you got to move on from. I think this may be one of those things.
Wait,
We'll
that
see.
means I have 3 points, right?
2
Just
points.
2.
Oh,
So within 3 years, you get 2 points.
Oh, but
Well, if you're within 3 years, you get 1 point. If you get it right on, you get 2 points.
okay, so I got 2 points.
You got 2 points.
Did you get 2 points or
I
did
got
you?
Yeah,
nothing.
1.
I got 1 point.
Oh.
So it's at 2. We're at 2 to 1 right now.
2 to 1. So you just took the lead because you got it right on the money.
Yeah.
Well, wait, which one are we looking at?
The one on the left. It is Morgan Freeman's birthday.
Morgan Freeman. That's a recent picture of Morgan.
That's him at the Oscars or Grammys, whichever ones were recent.
Okay.
I think at the Oscars.
I'm going to say Morgan Freeman these days is, I'm going to say 77.
I'm going 79.
He's 86. So no
Oh, we
points.
weren't even close.
No points that round.
I was at first I was gonna guess something in the 80s, but then that felt really disrespectful.
Did a little bit.
He's not watching.
80s is the new 50s, right?
Is that Heidi Klum?
That is indeed Heidi Klum, the German-American yodel singer, model.
No clue.
What does
Heidi
she
Klum,
do?
is she a model?
I think for some reason I think we're around the same age.
I'm going to say 49. I'm going to say it before you get it because you just said that.
I think she might be older. I'm going 51.
She's 50. So you guys each get a point.
Oh,
We're at 3-2.
nice.
We're at 3-2.
I wouldn't have come close to that, by the way, so I appreciate you giving me the hint.
Now we have our bonus celebrity. This is the least famous person. It is worth double points. This is an older photo. This is from 1990 because I could not find
1990.
Is that Tom Sneva?
How
do you know? Oh, it's written on his shirt.
Okay. I was like, he did.
Well done. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's unstoppable.
He did win the Indy 500 back in 1983.
He won?
He won the Indy.
And that was 7 years prior to this photo taken.
Yes.
And it has now been 3 years since the photo was taken.
Yes.
So he is 33 years older than this. Are you looking stuff up on your phone over there?
I'm trying to math.
Okay, you're mathing. Okay. Wow.
How many years ago was 83?
83 had been 40 years ago.
I think we might.
That picture was from 90, though.
Yeah, this picture's from 1990. I think he retired in 1992. That's another hint for you.
He retired in 92?
Yes.
From racing, though.
From racing.
Racing, which is, yeah. Ooh, this is a hard one.
I don't know. 71?
Oh, that's about where I'm at, too. I'm going to say that was good math. You mathed well there. I'm going to say he's 76.
He's 74. So you guys each get points.
I tied it up, right?
No, because she got points too. So that's
you got points on that one too?
She said 71.
Oh,
right.
So you beat me.
Did I win?
I lost again. Oh man, I will win one day, everybody. I will train hard. I will work at this. I will literally start flashcards with people's faces on them.
I'll tell you.
And when you come back on, 14 weeks from now,
oh my gosh,
we're gonna set it down right now.
I was excited to come on the show, just obviously to hang out with you guys. It was so much fun. But I wanted to win. I wanted to win the birthday game so bad. Something that useful info about me. But I just love trivia. Like just
really.
Oh my gosh.
Are you really competitive too? On top of that, like
internally.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm competitive, but I don't think it would come across that way to an individual on the outside.
You're not ruining trivia night at the bar by like freaking out.
But man, am I internally
you want to win.
It will ruin your night
and doing well.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we'll have you back on in 14 weeks' time. I'm going to look at my dates, study my everything. Yeah, it's Holly, thanks for coming on the show. This is a really fun episode.
Thanks for having me. I loved it.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions about running, biking, get inspired to can they reach out to you at the Southeast Iowa Union maybe?
Yeah, sure.
If they just want to
I mean, I don't know how much info I have, but I would would love to talk to anybody who wants to talk about it because it was the most challenging and probably most exhilarating thing I've done, probably outside of childbirth.
Wow.
in my whole life. Like it was an incredible experience.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. Thank you too, Nick. Thank you all our listeners and viewers. We will see you on Tuesday.